Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you've been doing great. As you can see, I have not posted a video in about 7 to 8 months, and that's going to start changing right now. When I first started my YouTube channel, one of the biggest things that absolutely floored me in terms of what I wanted to do my content on was the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck not only catapulted me into the PC gaming landscape, but it also gave me a newfound love and appreciation for video games in ways that I didn't know I was into. Well, long story short, Valve has released a trailer. I want to go through it with you now and talk about their new products that they are bringing into the 2026 year and what that means for gamers all around the world. It's no secret that I am a champion when it comes to making sure that you are getting the best bang for your buck when it comes to video games, and I'm a firm believer that there is so much to play that you really don't need to go out and spend a lot of money. However, when it comes to your console of choice, what you're going to play your games on, I think it's a very important discussion because it ultimately defines what the rest of your gaming experience looks like from game to game. If you're new to the channel, just to give you a little bit of background as far as my gaming habits, what I used to play on for the longest time was consoles. Obviously, you know, as many of us, we start on PC, play a few small PC games, but it's not our bread and butter. It's the consoles that really bring us to the forefront and for the passion of games. So when I made the switch to PC, it was a very jarring and very kind of intimidating experience. However, I have found in the PC landscape that there is so much flexibility, there is so much option in terms of what games you can play, and then on top of that, you just have a bevy of features that you do not get when you're playing video games on a console. So that is my experience as far as video games are concerned. I play exclusively now on PC and Steam Deck, but if everything looks good with this product I'm about to tell you about, then this is going to be a gateway for so many people to get into the PC gaming sphere. And of course, I am talking about the Steam Machine. Now, if you're asking what this is, I want to give you the quick basic breakdown, the TLDR, if you will. Steam Machine is going to utilize all of the software features that the Steam Deck has had access to for the last 3 years, and it's going to go ahead and culminate it into a console-like box so that you can play video games from the Steam store, that you can utilize it in the same way you would a Steam Deck. So if you want to emulate, if you want to play video games from the Steam store, if you want to play your Epic library, if you want to play your GOG library, you're not locked down to anything because ultimately this is a PC, but it is Valve's spin on the hardware. And I think one of the most important distinctions, and for you console players, I really want you to understand what this is that you're going to have access to. This is PC gaming made easy. Steam Deck was already kind of a Trojan horse when it comes to making PC gaming understandable and really easy and simple. But what this is going to do is take all of those lessons that Valve has learned from the Steam Deck, and it's going to put it in a console-like format for people. And you might be saying, well, Rice, what's the big deal, right? This is just a Steam Machine, kind of like what they did 10 years ago. The difference is that Steam 10 years ago did not have the same type of software. It didn't have the same type of learning curve or lack thereof that it does now, and everything about this box is designed to be simple. What this is going to allow people to do is play PC games without the hassle of trying to figure out if they have the right specs, trying to figure out if they're really getting the best out of every single game graphically. It's going to make that experience a lot easier and take out a lot of the thinking process that comes into literally just the purchase of a PC. It's going to make it so that you can say, I want to be able to play these games, and can this box run it? It can. Perfect. I'm going to pick that up. Which is something that console players do a lot, but us as PC players, we don't really think about that because most of the time we build in order to be future-proof. This may not be future-proof, however, it's going to basically be able to play all of the games that you currently would want to play on a console. Something I want console players to understand about the Steam ecosystem is that Steam has been around for 20 years, right? So when it comes to the storefronts that you go to, like PlayStation Store, the Xbox Live Store, Nintendo Switch Online, I want you to understand that these stores that PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, they've switched switched around a lot. They're not consistent from console to console. So games that you purchased on the PS3 or games that you purchased on the PS4, sometimes they don't transfer to those new systems. Same with like Nintendo Switch and the 3DS, because every single time a console has to do a switch up or a shake up, or they make a different type of game console, it's not guaranteed that your games that you put money into to build your library are going to go to that next console. One of the reasons PC players adore Steam is because games that we bought 20 years ago are still playable now on modern hardware. The important thing to note here is that if you buy a Steam machine, if you buy a Steam Deck, those games that you buy are going to be in your library, and you're going to be able to not only share them with your friends via the Steam family sharing, but you're going to also be able to pick up either a Steam Deck, a Steam machine, a different PC, or if something happens, God forbid, down the line and you just need to get a new laptop or anything like that, you're going to have access to your games. And in a world where games are constantly getting delisted and deplatformed and consoles are becoming as much as a PC, my mentality has always been that you should do what is best for you and your setup and what makes the most sense. And for a lot of people, PCs never made sense because people want a living room console-like experience. And for the first time, possibly ever, I think we're really going to get a good, valuable, and maybe most importantly, simple experience for the casual user. Okay, I promise I will get off my soapbox now, but genuinely, I love being a part of the PC community and having more people have access and to stop letting corporations treat them badly through their wallet. I'm really excited for, and I'm always going to be a champion when it comes to saving money and doing things that make sense for your wallet and your time. But the Steam machine wasn't the only thing that Valve announced. They also did show off their brand new Steam controller. There's really not a whole lot to touch on with this. Maybe the design, for those of you who are used to the Xbox and PlayStation controllers, it's probably very strange to see two giant trackpads on the bottom. As somebody who has a Steam Deck and has had one since launch, I can personally say they work great and they do a lot of goodwill when it comes to actually navigating in desktop mode, as well as when it comes to just utilizing them in different games. Not all games obviously are going to need them, and a lot of games you're going to want to play with normal controls, but when it comes time to play a game like an MMO or a RTS, for example, I feel that they do a really good job of being an addition and not getting in the way of any type of control you want. The other thing too that the Steam controller has going for it is all the additional buttons on the back. Those are extremely nice on the Steam Deck, so I can imagine it's going to be a very similar feel. Valve has learned a lot about comfort and economics when it comes to holding controllers, so I really do think that a lot of these features and these things that they would be thinking about as far as comfort and grip, I think they're going to be going into that knowing that they've ironed a lot of that out. And of course, the last thing they showed off as far as their hardware is going to be the new VR headset. I personally have a little bit of interest in this, but I can't say it's something that is going to blow everybody away, especially if you're not already kind of bought into the VR headset of things. Personally, I think it looks great. I think the fact that you can play games on it without the need of a PC around is a great thing. I've thought that for a long time, that is kind of the future of what VR headsets need. I don't really have a lot to say on it because I don't have much experience with VR headsets, but if you do, please leave a comment. I would love to know what you think of this and if it seems like something that's worth picking up. So that's kind of the roundup when it comes to the Steam hardware, but what I really want to know is, what do you guys think about what Valve has shown off? Do you think this is something that you're going to pick up? And if you're not already into the PC landscape, what do you think about jumping in with this? I will say personally, I think pricing is going to be very competitive. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little different than what we're used to, especially over the course of the last 10 years. We've only seen consoles get more and more expensive. However, I do think that consoles are very quickly closing the gap between PCs and themselves. So I think it's very, very possible that this comes in somewhere between $500 and $800. Now, I know that that might seem like sticker shock, but when you consider that the Xbox literally just raised price $100 this year and Game Pass is $30 now, I don't really see it as being very crazy for them to go in about that price range, especially when you consider the hardware underneath. If they come in at $600 or maybe even $700, I think they have an extremely competitive box, and honestly, I don't think there is any reason to choose an Xbox or a PlayStation this next generation over a Steam machine. Now, I am 100% biased when it comes to that just because I do play on PC, but if you really sit down and compare the pros and the cons of what console and what PC has to offer, I think you will find that that gap is getting a lot smaller than it used to. Now, this video isn't going to be super long. I'm not going to be breaking down every single little thing that they announced with the Steam machine as far as all of its features, its hardware, and everything like that. There are people that do a much better job. I think Digital Foundry did a great job as far as breaking down what the system is capable of. If you do want more information on that, feel free to put comments down below. I would love to go ahead and link you to some different YouTube videos, as well as just offer some alternative places you can go to get more information. But genuinely, I would love to hear your feedback and what you think of this thing. What are your impressions? What are your takeaways? Do you think this is something that you'd be interested in? Is this something that is smart for Valve to do? Personally, I think it was only a matter of time before Valve finally decided to do something like this. And now that we have the official reveal, I am just very impressed, and I think we have a lot of opportunities. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. It's very good to be back. Let me know what you want to see for the next video. I'm going to be working on a few more videos that I have in the pipeline. Going to be touching on some games I've been playing, what the backlog looks like, and ultimately this is going to be a lot more gaming focused than what I've done in the past. So let me know what you guys would love to see. I hope you all have a great day. Take care of yourselves and stay safe.